Hello and welcome to your free class on opening up through the chest and upper back. We're both going to be expanding the range as well as strengthening. My name is Leanne Kudrowski and I am an FRC mobility specialist and strength coach. So what you're going to need for class today is a door frame or a rack like this. A door frame in your home works perfectly. If you have access to a foam roller, grab one of those. If you don't, you're going to want either 2 yoga blocks just like this, or 2 thick books work equally as well. If you don't have access to foam roller, yoga blocks, or thick books, don't worry, you're still going to be able to do the majority of the class. So keep following along and I'll let you know when you need to make an adjustment. All right, let's get started with a warm-up. Today's class is on shoulder external rotation. So that's exactly what we're going to warm up. You're going to start just like this. If it's not comfortable for you to sit on your heels, you can either stand, sit on a chair, or place a yoga block between your hips and your heels. So you're going to have your elbow in line with your shoulder. You are then going to rotate, pulling your hand as far back as you can. We should feel a contraction in the back of the shoulder right here, and then we're just going to rotate back down. This is shoulder external rotation, just like this. What this tells us is how open are we through the front of the shoulder and the chest, and how strong are we in the back of the shoulder capsule. So if you find yourself getting to say here and you're like, oh, I can't get any farther back, no problem. That's what this class is going to do. It's going to teach you how to open up your shoulder in a way and strengthen your shoulder in a way that we can get more range of motion into this movement. So we'll just consider this warm-up a little bit of an assessment. You can just kind of see, where are you at? And then watch how it expands over time. Let's switch to the other side. Same thing here. Elbow right in line with the shoulder. Go ahead and pull back as far as you can. One thing we're going to watch out for is that the elbow shouldn't move. Some of us will find that as we're pulling backwards, you're going to want to say, drop the elbow down. Make sure that elbow stays right in line with the shoulder. Some of us will also want to do this, pulling the elbow far back. We don't want to do that either. Let's keep the elbow right in line with the shoulder. And we'll just keep moving through. Every single time you hit your end range here, you're going to pause for a second and be like, is that really my end range? Could I pull farther? And then keep going through. Couple more reps here to get our shoulders completely warmed up and ready to go. Okay, now our shoulders are both warmed up and we have a kind of general idea of what our external rotation range looks like. So now let's expand that range. We're going to come into a really nice stretch to open us up through the chest and the front of the shoulder. This is where you're going to want to have a door frame or a squat rack, just like this. We're going to come in this position here. This is our scarecrow position. And you're going to go ahead and place your elbow and your hand right on your door frame, stepping yourself through until you get a really nice stretch into the front of the shoulder and the chest. Now, if you just came into that and you found the stretch right away, amazing. We're going to be staying in this stretch for a long hold, so just stay there. If you're somebody that's like, I don't really feel it, here's a couple things you can try. Try dropping your elbow down lower. So that would look like this. The elbow is going to come down a bit and then try stepping through. For a lot of us, this will give us a much better stretch, depending on the body. If you found your stretch there, amazing, stay with it. If you're like, I still don't really feel it, try turning your chest a little bit away from your arm. I can kind of twist my chest this direction. For some of us, we'll feel a little bit of a nicer, better stretch here, just with that little bit of rotation. If that worked, amazing. Just stay in the stretch and take a couple deep breaths. If you're somebody who tried all three of those and you're like, I still don't really feel it, go ahead and step a little farther away, have your hand on your door frame, and then come through and see if you get a better stretch from that position right there. So already we have 4 different options to open up through the chest and the shoulder. The beauty of this is every single body is going to feel these positions slightly differently. We're all a little bit different, and depending on where you're the tightest, if it's lower on the chest, higher on the chest, more into the shoulder, that'll determine which of these 4 positions is actually best for your unique body. So your goal is not to be in any one of the positions, but simply to discover, which one of these feels the best for me? And then just sit in that stretch. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Now we're going to start some activation. No matter what position you're in, go ahead and start pushing your hand into your door frame. When we start pushing the hand into the door frame, everything that was just being stretched is now going to feel activated. It's now going to feel like it's working. That's what we're looking for here. We are trying to strengthen all of the tissue that was just being stretched. Keep pushing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax and see, can you maybe just come a little bit deeper into your stretch after that bit of activation? Let's take a couple breaths there. And now we're going to do it one more time. Start pushing your hand into your door frame. All the tissue that was just being stretched is now being strengthened. We're bringing blood flow to this tissue. We're bringing nutrients to this tissue. We're saying, hey body, this is important. Lay down more healthy tissue here and bring the nutrients and blood to this spot. It's all information for the body. Keep pushing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your contraction. Allow yourself to sink ever so slightly deeper into that stretch, knowing that if you got just even a tiny bit more range, millimeters counts. It's a very good sign for you. Take a couple breaths. And we'll slowly step out of that. Move your arm around a little bit. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So whatever position worked for you on the one side, you can start right off with that position on the next side. So we're going to go ahead and come into our scarecrow position just like this, stepping our chest through to get a nice stretch into the chest and the front of the shoulder. As a reminder, just in case your 2 sides are different, which sometimes we need a slightly different position on the 2 sides, you can always move the elbow down a little bit and see if that helps you feel a better stretch. You can try turning your chest away and see if that helps you feel a better stretch. You can also try moving farther away from your door frame, bringing the elbow off of it, and see if that helps you feel a better stretch. There is absolutely nothing wrong with any of these answers. It is simply, where does your particular body need the stretch the most? So once you've found your spot, the spot that you personally feel the best stretch, you're going to take a few deep breaths into this spot. We've already been here for over a minute, and we're trying to spend 2 minutes in the stretch before we start our strengthening. The reason for this is research shows there's a stretch reflex in the body that starts to relax at about the 2-minute mark. So although stretching for 30 seconds is better than no stretching at all, stretching for the full 2 minutes is what research shows gives us the greatest result. And if you do this consistently, in 6 months, you are going to thank yourself for actually spending that time on your body, because you will feel so much better in the long run by doing that. Let's take 2 deep breaths. Let's start our activation. Now you're going to start driving your hand into your door frame, activating all the tissue that was just being stretched. Continuing to push here. You're going to try to ramp that up a little bit for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the contraction and see, can you bring your chest through a little bit more? Just get slightly deeper into your stretch. We're going to take a couple deep breaths there. And then we're going to go ahead and start one more time. Start driving the hand into your door frame. On this second round, you're going to see, can you press a little bit harder than you did on the first time around? Maybe you can just give it a little bit more force. Now that you're a little bit more warmed up, you know what muscles you're using, you understand it better. See if you can push a little bit harder for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the contraction and just allow yourself to relax a little bit further into the stretch. We'll often find after those contractions, we can get slightly farther into the stretch. Millimeters counts, millimeters adds up to so much range over weeks and months of doing this. Take a deep breath. And we'll slowly come out of that. All right, let's move into the upper back. So if you have a foam roller available, you're going to go ahead and grab that now. If you're using yoga blocks or books, I'm going to go over your adjustment in a moment here. If you do not have either of these options, then you can see if there's something else in your house that works, or you can just go ahead and skip right to the next exercise. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to take the foam roller and you are going to place it right below your shoulder blades, just like this. You're going to cradle your head in your hands so your neck can completely relax. You are then going to arch yourself backwards over the foam roller. So you're opening up through that upper back. From here, you're going to take really deep breaths. Think big breath in and really long exhale out. If you're in position with your foam roller, go ahead and keep doing your deep breaths. If you are using yoga blocks or thick books, you are going to do that exact same thing just with those. So you're going to go ahead and place your yoga blocks right below the shoulder blades. Go ahead and place your head in the back of into your hands. Let your neck relax, and you can just arch backwards over your yoga blocks or thick books. And then we're going to do deep breathing. The breathing here really helps to open up through that upper back more. So when you breathe in, allow your chest to really expand. Your rib cage is getting wider, your chest is getting wider, and then when you breathe out, allow yourself to sink deeper into the stretch. Imagine that you're arching over that foam roller even more on the exhale. Then again on the inhale, your rib cage is going to expand, giving you a nice stretch into that whole area. And on the exhale, just relax and see if you can sink backwards even more. Go ahead and keep following through that same breath work at your own pace. Really consciously thinking about as deep of a breath as you can possibly get to expand that rib cage. And on the exhale, that's always a relaxation phase. If we're going to get a little bit deeper into our stretch, having it happen on the exhale is always our greatest possibility of getting deeper into the stretch. Let's do a few more breaths just like that. All right, let's slowly sit back up. We're going to keep one yoga block or thick book around. If you do not have a yoga block or thick book, any object will work to place your elbow on. So here's what we're going to do. We now just opened through the chest and the shoulders. We opened through the upper back. Now we need to strengthen that posterior shoulder back here, okay? So here's how we're going to do that. You are going to lie on the ground and place your elbow on a yoga block, book, or other object. You are going to pull your shoulder down away from your ear and then pull your hand as high as you can. The back of the shoulder will work really hard here. You'll really feel that strength being built into the back of the shoulder and slowly come back down. And again, pick it up as high as you can. Hold, 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 and slowly come back down. Rep 3 out of 6. Hold, hold, hold. Slowly come down. Rep 4. Hold, hold, hold. Come down. Always fight for the height when you're at the top. So rep 5, you're going to think, how high can you get your hand? Fight for that height. Could you get it any higher? Come down. Last rep, come up. This is a longer hold rep, so hold as high as you can here. Don't let it fall. Fight for that height for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Okay, very strengthening for the posterior shoulder there. And we're just going to go ahead and do that exact same thing on the opposite side. So elbow is going to come onto your object. Head can be relaxed down. Go ahead and pull it up, hold, and come down. Make sure your shoulder is pulled far away from your ears and pull it up, hold, and down. Rep 3, fight for the height, and down. Rep 4, and down. Rep 5, down. Rep 6, and this is our long hold here. Keep fighting for the height. Fight for it. How high can you get the hand? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Amazing. And now we're just going to stay in this position here. One more exercise for strengthening the upper back here. We are going to pull our shoulders away from our ears. We're going to put your elbows underneath your shoulders, or a little farther out is okay. You're going to go ahead and come up into this cobra position just like this. Take your hands off the ground. So now our upper back should be working really hard. And you're just going to go ahead and bring your chest back down to the ground. Now our goal here is that only the upper back is working. If I come up too tall, then my lower back is going to be doing a lot of the work. So if you feel your lower back working, what you're going to think about is don't let your lower rib cage leave the ground. So you're going to think your lower rib cage is firmly planted into the ground. You're going to push into your hands so your chest comes up off the ground. This lower rib cage is glued down. Think chest up, eyes forward. Then go ahead and bring your hands off the ground. We got this fighting to stay up here. Upper back is working. And slowly bring it down. Same thing again. Go ahead and pick your chest up. Big arch to the upper back. Rib cage glued to the ground. Hands come off the ground. So we're using just strength here for that upper back to have to work really hard to keep the chest up. Come down. We're going to do this 2 more times. Pushing up. Think chest up. Eyes up. Hold. Coming down. And last rep here. Coming up. Chest up. Eyes up. Hold here. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Here we go. I feel pretty good after just teaching that class. So I hope you feel more open after trying the class out. If you feel better after just this really short class, imagine how good you're going to feel doing 6 weeks of dedicated classes on the shoulders and the spine. New classes every single week, as well as guidance and ability to ask all of your questions. That is my 6-week beginner and spine mobility program. I put the link below, so give that a look. Let me know if you have any questions. You can shoot me a direct message on Instagram, which I will link below as well, at Leanne Elizabeth K. You can check that out. Send me any questions that you have about this class or about that program. I put so much love and effort and passion and dedication into that 6-week program. It was so much fun for me to create for you. And I do believe it's going to be so impactful for you to feel better in your shoulders, in your neck, in your back, all of this. So let's do it together to take all of the guesswork out of it for you. Just follow along, no guesswork involved, and you're going to feel so much better in 6 weeks' time.